Hello and welcome to the channel again. This is Sam trying to spin to win on Swift. Another day, another FRR race. I'm really starting to sound like a broken record now.
Yes, you are.
After yesterday's pretty good performance, I hope to put in another one today. Didn't sleep that well, unfortunately, but my cold feels okay. But if I'm honest, my legs are starting to get really weary. So we'll see how we get on today. We're doing a portion of the Tire-Bouchon course today. And yes, that means we're going up the Petit KOM twice. I'm getting sick and tired of this bloody hill.
Fuck, you can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious!
I will go over why we're going up twice, because it's not obvious when you look at the FRR roadbook. But before we do that, we'll have a quick look at the CRP GC standings after stage 6 and see whether I improved from stage 5 or not. Then we'll go over this bloody course, and you probably don't want to miss that, especially if you haven't done the race yet, because the lead-in is, as they say, very interesting. And then we'll get on to the action and see how I get on today. Let's get it on. Let's have a quick look at the CRP GC leaderboard after 6 stages. Caleb Barrows is still in first place. Beto Kadavid moves up to second place. And Mr. Frim drops down 1 spot to third place. The Swedish Swifters keep going strong, with Peter in 5th, Martin in 17th, and Matthias in 25th. I am clearly the only slacker here. After stage 6, I now find myself in 27th place, up 5 spots on yesterday. That is certainly an improvement.
Not good enough.
And perhaps I can snag a place or two today and make it onto the first page again. We will soon find out. Now, a quick look at today's course, and you don't want to miss this one. Today, we're doing a shortened version of the Tire-Bouchon course. At 43 kilometers with 300 meters of elevation, it should take just over an hour to complete. But wait a minute.
Wait.
I am positive a few people will get caught out by this. But the whole route is actually not showing in the FRR roadbook.
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean, what do I mean by that?
The start pen is actually at the bottom of the Petit KOM, and we will climb out of the gate until we get to the Petit KOM banner when the course is shown in the roadbook actually starts. Now, looking in Swift Power, the course actually looks like this. Now you can see the lead-in, and the elevation gain is now 422 meters, significantly more than the 300 meters as shown in the roadbook. Sneaky, Mr. FRR Race Control. Very
Sneaky.
So, we go up the Petit KOM twice. Did I mention that I am
Sick and tired of this crap!
And of course, also the Acqueduc KOM for good measure. So, the separation will start right away on this course, and people will push really hard up the leading climb as they're fresh at that point. You then get the opportunity to lose the front on the various sprints and the Acqueduc KOM before you're at serious risk again the second time up the Petit KOM. If you, against all odds, manage all that, you will likely be sprinting for the stage at the finish. In summary, this is a very attritional course, and you need to bring your A game right away at the start, or you will be sorry indeed.
I really thought I was ready, but I'm not.
Okay, let's get this race started, and hold on to your hats because it will be
And maximum effort.
from the start.
Let's race.
Okay, another race. This one's gonna start out with a bang. I just hope people are sensible and don't kill themselves on the first hill. My legs are tired, so we'll see how we get on today. Let's hope they're sensible, please. So, after pleading with the field to be sensible, to my surprise, it was almost like they heard me all the way from Scotland, since they were. don't get me wrong, we were not hanging about. I think I averaged around 4.5 watts per kilo, and as you can see my power chart is relatively red. But with fresh, or at least semi-fresh legs, it didn't feel too bad. There was also a lot of chat going on with people telling other people to take it easy, and wiser words have never been spoken.
So true, so wise.
As you can see from the footage, the group, apart from a guy off the front for a bit I think, stayed pretty much together. Yes, there was still separation and some riders fell off the front, but nowhere near as many as if the top guys had gone full gas. And as we start the descent, there is around 45 of us or so in the front group. Okay, so we're 10k in, and frankly, nothing has happened. People were sensible on the climb. I mean, I still think averaged 350 watts. So it wasn't a walk in the park for me, but it wasn't as hard as it could have been. So, and after that, pretty gentle. That'll change. Even though everybody's in the chat saying, let's ride over together, minimize E-gap. Not a chance. The snooze fest continues. And at around 22 kilometers, I see a pretty funny chat. Mr. Cahill asks, I wonder what Sam makes of this in his video. To which I say, it'll be short, Jamie. It'll be a short video if this keeps up. As we start the Pave sprint, I think we all knew that the time for the cafe ride with friendly banter was over. The pace naturally picks up at the sprint, especially with a handful of riders going full gas here. I keep the power on all the way through the sprint, then have a short rest as we turn off the cobbles and then back on the power. The pace did drop slightly for the next 500 meters or so before we go up the Acqueduc KOM, but then the pace was back on again. It was at this point I started to find myself not struggling per se, but starting to naturally drift towards the back of the group, and then catching back on once the others in the front slow down. Now, that is never a good sign for me, as I usually like to be towards the front. A bit of a sign what was to come on the Petit KOM the second time around, perhaps? Let's find out. As we start going up the Petit KOM for the second time, I know this is going to be much harder than the first time up for me. There had been some chat that we would go up together and that somebody would pace at 4 watts per kilo at the front, but that pleasant dream was soon shattered. My legs were pretty fatigued by this point, so again I knew it was going to be tough going. I do okay for the first couple of minutes, although again I am towards the back of the group, but with around a kilometer to go, I am really starting to struggle, and now I'm dangling off the back. I do work harder on the steep bits to try to catch back up, but I am still dangling off the back the whole time. Looking back at the numbers for the climb, I managed around 4.5 watts per kilo again, just like the first climb, but I was probably 10 to 15 watts short in order to stay with the front group, alas. Not my best effort, but not terrible either. I just didn't have that extra snap in the legs. Again, that is most likely fatigue that has built up. So, with around 500 meters to go, the elastic unfortunately snaps. I was really tired at this point, and I knew that I wouldn't catch them, but I still plug on as best as I can, as you just never know. But as we crest, I am now around 10 to 15 seconds behind the front, and 15 or so seconds ahead of the next group, so in limbo in other words. But that is the front group gone. I'm sorry that I don't have any content from the front of the race from now on, but guys, I tried my best. On the descent from the Petit KOM, I tried to rest as much as possible, as I know the group behind will catch me up, and then I will try to hold on to them until the finish. And sure enough, they catch me with just under 7 kilometers to go. I remember looking at that time at how far ahead of us the next group was at that point, and I saw that they were over 20 seconds ahead. So I thought there was no way we're gonna make that. Instead, since I was really tired, I just drafted from there on in. However, this was a mistake, and I have to hold my hand up here to the other guys in that group. Some of them worked really hard, but at the time I was thinking that they were trying to shake people from our little group instead, rather than closing the group up ahead. I must admit, I don't know why I kept thinking that. In hindsight, that was pretty stupid. But I guess you're so used to trying to race the people in your little group that I couldn't break out of that mindset. It was only towards the end of the race that I realized that we were indeed closing on the group ahead, and that I really should have helped with pulls earlier. In the end, I think we only finished some 3 seconds behind that group. Not sure if me pulling would have made a difference, but I should have at least tried. Again, sorry guys in that little group, that was my bad. Now let's have a quick look at the results. On Swift Power, we can see that I finished in 32nd place. Again, the places here do not matter, as they include all the 5 categories in my start pen, but more importantly, I lost over 1 minute on E-gap to the fastest CRP rider in the race, who I think was actually my teammate Peter. Peter, don't expect any Christmas cards from me.
You are a terrible person.
Just kidding. You had a fantastic race. Well done indeed. I have to admit, I'm still a bit miffed with myself for not helping to pull there at the end. Again, not sure if that would have made a difference, but on the other hand, maybe we would have caught a few more riders. Regardless, I still feel a bit bad about that. Alright, some thoughts after that race, as per usual. Well, didn't quite go to plan today, but I gave it my best, so I'm not unhappy with the effort. First climb was okay, we're all pretty fresh, and it wasn't too bad, although we still pushed pretty hard. I think I had about 350 watts, which is, I don't know, 4.5 watts per kilo or something, so it's not hanging about. After that, it was a bit of a snooze fest, to be honest, in the front group, all the way to the Pave sprint in the Acqueduc. I think it was Mr. Jamie Cahill that even commented what kind of content I could make out of this ride, because it was that slow for a bit. Real Zone 2 stuff. Pave sprint, it's pretty hard, and people kept pushing then all the way up the Acqueduc, and I could feel I was slowly starting to drift towards the end of the group. I got back on, no problem, but still, I was like, oh no, legs are not good. And I knew that the climb would be tough. But I gave it a good go. Again, I think I managed about 350 watts, but that's about 40 watts almost below my personal best. And I think I would have needed another 10-20 watts. As it is, I was quite close at the top. I don't know, 5-10 seconds behind the last rider, but that's enough. Once that elastic snaps, they're gone. So as soon as I realized that, I kind of set up a bit and waited for the chasing group behind. And to be fair, once they caught up, they're moving pretty fast. I apologize guys, I didn't do any pulls on the front. I was quite tired, but we almost caught the group, or rather, they almost caught the group in front of us. I think we almost finished just a couple of seconds behind them, but I was really tired at the end. So, a bit of the cold, but today I think it's just fatigue speaking. So, no excuse. Overall, it's an okay race. Wasn't great, wasn't terrible. Much better than my ITT, for example. More rest, some good food. Hopefully I'll sleep a little bit better, and then we'll have a crack at the ITT tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure whether I'll make the last day due to some in real life commitments. Still trying to juggle them around to see if I can make it, but not 100% sure yet. But hopefully I should be there in the ITT tomorrow, unless the cold gets worse. So with that, we'll see you then. This is Sam, trying to spin to win on Swift, and I'll see you in the next one.